what should parents be saying to their alienated kids right now if they're able to, maybe they're not seeing them, but they're able to send them a text message or, a message via social media or something? Like, what should they be saying and what should they not be saying also?
Yeah, very good question. First off, right now is the best time for parents to start reaching out to their kids if they have not been doing that. Because I know a lot of parents have walked away and said, when they're ready, they'll reach out to me. That's not the way it goes. You're the parent. It's your responsibility to create that bridge, not your child's. And now is a really good time because there's 2 times in life where kids will start to soften their heart. It's when they have something big happening in their life, like a graduation, or they're getting married, or something big is happening to them where they're like, oh, gee, my other parent's not here. Or a crisis situation, right? And right now we're in crisis around the world. So just wanted to reiterate, reach out to your kids if you have not yet. Do not be sending them messages that make them feel like crap or make them feel guilty. I miss you so much. I'm so worried about you. Please answer me. Are you okay? Oh my God. If I die tomorrow, know I loved you. And don't be crazy. Just make it very light and airy, conversational, right? No pressure. Hey, the world's getting pretty crazy. Just wanted to reach out and say, I hope you have a strategy plan. There's a lot of businesses shutting down. At the end of the day, if you ever need anything, I'm here. Love you, mom or dad. You can reassure them that you're okay. Sometimes kids do worry, right? They haven't seen you in a long time. They're thinking, oh my God, what if my mom or dad did die? What would I do? Or what if they got sick? Would anybody actually tell me? So you can reach out and say, hey, just wanted to let you know that we're healthy and we're fine and we're enjoying our time at home. I hope you're healthy and safe and have a backup plan just in case things go sideways. And the door is always open. Love you.
Well, I love it that you said you reach out to your kids. Don't be waiting for your kids to reach out to you. I don't know if you happened to watch it, but I did a little Facebook Live yesterday about that because I'm seeing quite a bit in some online discussion groups, parents who are just waiting for their kids to contact them. Yeah. And they're like, I can't believe my kids still haven't reached out to me. They're so rude and disrespectful and horrible. And I'm just waiting. I can't believe it. And I know some parents don't like to hear this. It's kind of tough love, but you are the parent. And so it is your job to reach out to your kids. And then, of course, you have people say, well, it's not fair. It's not fair. Well, of course, it's not fair. Nothing about parental alienation is fair. Well, it's wrong. Yeah, it's wrong. I mean, everything about parental alienation is wrong. But, when you are the parent, you have to, it's a sacrifice sometimes. And this being an alienated parent is very, very hard. And there's a lot of sacrifice. But yeah, reach out to your kids and, don't send them messages that will create even more anxiety in them because they're having anxiety over this too.
Of course they are. Yeah. Yeah, especially if they're young adults and they were in university and they got ripped out of their university program or, they're working jobs and all of a sudden they have no finances. So this is another thing that I've been telling my clients to do. If you have older kids, send them like a little e-card or something, like an e-gift card to a grocery store, right? Yes. Send them things that can help them in the immediate, right? Maybe a Visa gift card or something like that, and just say, just thought of you. Here's some toilet paper fund. Make it funny,
right?
Just in case you run out, right? Send them something that they can use for actual life circumstances. I've had parents reconnect with their kids, literally, that they haven't talked to in years because of $100 gift card or $50 that they've sent to their kid and their kids responded. You have no idea how much I needed that at that time.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And they came through for them in that moment and that completely reconnected their whole relationship. So, be creative.
I think that's such an important point. Don't just send them text messages.
Yeah.
I mean, which it's great to do that, or send them social media messages or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever way you can. But, I was thinking about that this morning too. So I'm really glad you brought that up. Send them things that will make them laugh, things that, that, like speaks to their sense of humor. But also if you can, if you have a way to, you can actually, have Amazon send them.
Yeah.
If they're older, like the adult coloring books, or send them puzzles, send them some things for them to do right now that you think that they would enjoy. And, definitely gift cards, something like that could help them out right now. I think it's all a great idea.
Yeah. The nicest thing too about gift cards and stuff like that is if you don't know where your children are, if you don't have an address for them, you can actually send them gift cards through text message, right? So they can actually click the link in the text and they can activate it, and you can actually see if they've activated it, right? So see if they've actually used it and they've received their gift. So, there is no excuses, guys. You don't have to know where your kids are. If you have a text message or a way to text them or email them. And then just one more thing I wanted to touch on is that 99.9% of parents are like, I have no way of contacting them. I'm blocked on, they have me blocked on their phone. You guys, I'm not a techie person, but I discovered a few years ago that your text messages actually go to a folder in your phone when it's blocked. And the kids can go into that folder and see the messages that have been sent from that blocked number at any time. And I know kids do, because I have clients that will say, they'll show that they haven't been read in, a year, and all of a sudden I have 15 messages that show read.
Wow. I didn't know that, but the kids know that. I mean, they know how all this stuff works.
That's what I mean. I'm not techie. When I discovered that, I was like, holy crap, this is like a wealth of information right here. Yeah. So they're curious and they go in and they look. So they know if you're not messaging them to you guys, because I guarantee they go into that block folder, and when they see there's nothing from you, their heart sinks and they say, yeah, they really don't love me. So please reach out to your kids.
Well, I want to talk more about that. So that's why I'm making a note, right? But I want to go back to something that we were talking about just a second ago about sending gift cards, or, sending puzzles, or, coloring books, or, whatever. But, send something that's fun that will help them pass this time and take their mind off of stuff a little bit. Something I thought of the other day is, if your kids are teenagers or young adults, send them a gift card, via text or email, however you do that electronically. Send them a gift card for like pizza delivery, because all food places now are doing takeout or delivery only. And I mean, come on, what teenager or young adult wouldn't be, stoked? Do people still say stoked? You know what I mean? Okay. They would be like,
I say stoked.
They would be stoked or jazzed, but they would be happy to get a gift card that they could order a pizza delivery with. I mean, hey, I would be happy about that. So
it's a brilliant idea, because even like a 10-year-old can order a pizza, right?
Yeah, think outside of the box. But, something that, and this is during all times, not just during a pandemic, but you want to send your kids messages and things that make them associate good feelings with you. You don't want to send them things that creates even more anxiety than they already have, or that makes them feel, mad or bad about you, right? You want to send them things that they associate good feelings with you. We've got some comments, so I just don't want to get too behind on those. Christy Beck says, don't feed into the image the alienator might be painting of you as being crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that that's a huge problem, because of course, if you're an alienated parent, of course, you've got a lot of anxiety, and that comes out as maybe appearing to be like crazy, because you're losing your kids. I mean, hello, who wouldn't get, really distraught about that? But then of course the alienator takes that and they spin it, and they're like, ooh, look at them, they're being crazy. And it's like, and people haven't necessarily, connected the dots and realized that, like, you seem kind of crazy because that person is poisoning your kids, minds against you. So to Christy's point, we have to try really hard to, if your ex is trying to, in their smear campaign against you, which, is part of parental alienation, if they're trying to make people think you're crazy, like you said, don't act crazy, easier said than done. But, that could segue into a whole discussion of, good self-care, right? Managing your emotions.
It's also about letting go of control. And I mean, this resonates with me too, because when we were in the height of our alienation situation, we tried to tighten the reins, right? We were trying to control the storm. And it's a really hard lesson, guys, that if your alienator is trying to, spin an image of who you are and it's just not true, tightening the reins only makes you look like that person, right? So you actually have to let go of control of what that person's doing and put it out of your mind, because you cannot control their behavior or what they say about you. All you can control is your own behavior. And when you get sucked into that, obsession with, they're trying to say I'm crazy, they say that I'm controlling, they say this, this, and this, then you start to behave that way, right? So, easier said than done, but out of sight, out of mind, and just focus on, good self-care, like you said, Wendy, and being the natural human being that you are, right? If this situation wasn't going on, this is what I say to parents, if this was a normal parenting situation and you weren't being alienated, how would you behave? Right? You'd probably be pretty light and fun, and, you wouldn't be very controlling, and that's how we have to be, right? We have to be the opposite of what this person is saying that we are.
But I think it's important to say that, it's natural that we do have those moments where we are, overtaken by our anxiety. And, I really don't like to use the term crazy, but, maybe you're, spinning, spiraling, acting kind of crazy, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. I think that we should point out that, that is normal. It's going to happen sometimes if you're an alienated parent. So have someone that is your go-to person that you trust, that you can call or message and say, dude, I am losing it right now. Maybe not, they probably wouldn't say dude like I do, but you know what I mean? It does happen. And it's really important that we do have someone that we can trust to go to in those moments and say, I'm losing it and I need to talk to somebody. And I think, that can be hard to do. You and I both, know that it can be hard to find people that you trust. And then sometimes you think you trust somebody and you're like, oops, I should not have trusted that person. That was a bad decision. But it is important to try to find someone that you trust that can help you through those moments.
Absolutely. That's why getting like a coach or having a good mental health therapist or someone that maybe is a third party that's not personal in your life is a good go-to, because sometimes they can kind of help stabilize you too in those moments, right? Sometimes when you go to a friend and you're spinning in those moments, they just get spun up with you, right?
Yes.
So it's not very productive. But yeah, behaving crazy is a normal response to a very abnormal situation. So you're right.
Absolutely.
It's just how we deal with that and who we show that to too, right? So we gotta be careful.
Definitely. So Christy says, never ever give up. Absolutely, never give up. And I would add to that, never stop trying. That's I think everything has shown so far that when you stop trying, at some point, your kid is going to think that you stopped caring. And if they don't think it, the alienator is going to plant that seed in their mind. Oh, when's the last time you heard from your other parent? Oh, you haven't heard from them for a year? I guess I don't care about you anymore.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. That's what they did to me too. They walked out and abandoned me.
Yes. Yeah. Stuff like that. So we need to keep trying. Something else you touched on, kind of like way back a few minutes ago, but I do want to touch on this also because I think it's important to talk about regularly, is you said that you talked about if you send your kids text messages and you think they're not reading them, they probably go into a folder on their phone if they have you blocked. And then when they want to, they can go in and look at those messages.
Yep.
And, sometimes alienated parents will say, no, my kid hates me so much. I know they never, ever look at my social media. They're never going to look at those text messages. But again, everything has shown that they do look at your social media if you have it, if you've got it public. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Maybe not all the time, but they do sometimes.
Yeah.
Because they're curious about you. I mean, of course they're curious. They want to see what you're saying and what you're doing. So maybe we should talk about that a little bit. Like, again, what if you don't have a way to communicate with your kids at all, but you've got social media, what, if anything, should you be maybe posting publicly right now on your social media that your kids could see, or what should you not be posting?
Well, not just right now because of COVID, but always. I see a lot of parents posting their personal stories, which, I understand, you guys, but be careful. Go into private groups and also understand that even private groups aren't private. When you post something on the internet, it is for everyone to see at the end of the day. But, try to be careful what you're posting. It needs to be, same thing with your text messages, right? It needs to show a side of you that's, fun, right? Resilient, positive, right? Your kids are not going to return to you if they see a toxic, angry, ill, victimized person, right? Mm-hmm. That's not attractive to anybody. Let's just put it that way. It sounds horrible, and I'm not trying to, victim shame in any way. So I hope nobody's reacting in that way. But, that's just not an attractive thing that people want to get involved in. Anyone, right? So when your kids come to your Facebook and they see that you're posting funny little stories, and uplifting little things that you've been doing with your day, right? Maybe you are a runner, so you're posting, about your morning run and how awesome that is, and, have a good day, everybody, just positive stuff. Mm-hmm. Your Facebook is an incredibly powerful window into who you are for your kids, right? So I often see parents posting, snaps of a text message thread between them and their ex, or, you'll never, or a meme about the devil, and be like, well, they got nothing on my ex.
No, people, no.
Exactly. I get that it's funny. I get that it can be funny, but I mean, your kids, remember this, you guys. Even if your ex is an abuser, your children love their parent. Deeply love their parent, right? So when they see things like that, it's hurtful to them. And don't be silly and think that, well, my kid's only 8 and they don't have Facebook. Because someday they will. And trust me, there's a lot of 8-year-olds out there that have access to Facebook. And they may not have access to Facebook, but their parent does. Mm-hmm. And they are probably showing them the stuff that you're posting on Facebook.
Yeah, and if they're not now, like let's say your kid is 8, they're saving it. They're planning to show it to them someday. Definitely.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, my business partner, Monique, does a great job at this. She's very conscious of the fact that she, has a child out there that could be peeking on her Facebook, and she posts just fun, awesome stuff, about grandkids and, family time that they have. And, like I said, funny memes and stories and uplifting little quotes, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. I